Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Finally, the result is almost out. Right now as we speak, there seems to be palpable tension among the judges. Don't forget that some few weeks ago, that the CJN had made strong decrees and made pronouncements, set up committees to begin to look into Erring judges using the case study of what is going on in both Rivers State and Kano State. It was becoming quite an embarrassment to the judiciary, and there are set of committees to look into that. Right now, the reports are emerging, and they're holding the final meeting for the year. Of course, if nothing goes wrong, and the results that will show the standpoint of this Erring judge is about to go down. Before we go to the news proper, kindly subscribe to our channel. My colleague is in the house. Now, according to the news, indications emerged during the week that the National Judicial Council, NJC, headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Olatukombi Ekun, is set to hold a crucial meeting anytime soon to consider, among others, reports of several committees that investigated allegations of misconduct against seven judicial officers in the country. Now, the meeting, which is the first quarterly meeting of the council to be chaired by Justice Ekun and the last for the year, bearing any unforeseen event, has sparked palpable tension in the judiciary following a recent vow by the new Chief Justice that the errant judicial officers would no longer be spared. Now, NJC is a creation of Section 153 of the 1999 Constitution with statutory powers to appoint, promote, and sanction errant judicial officers in the country. A credible source close to the council said that a date for the meeting would be fixed as soon as the Chief Justice, who is at the present on an official assignment after the country is back. It was also learned that the number one judicial officer in the country is not comfortable with the present perception of the third arm of the government, and that she's prepared to restore sanity in the system in no time. I can tell you that the Chief Justice is eagerly awaiting the report of the various panels earlierly constituted to probe sundry allegations of misconduct against judicial officers to enable her act decisively on them, the source said. It will be recalled that between May and August 2024, a total of 22 petitions were written against 27 judges of both from the federal and state high court in the country, while the NJC referred all the complaints to one of the standing committees, Preliminary Compliance Assessment Committee, that CAC, for consideration. Now, the committee had examined each of the petitions and throughout a majority 18 on the accounts that they were either lacking in merit, abandoned by the petitioners, or found to be sub judice, since some of the issues raised therein were still subject to litigation either at the High Court or the Appellate Court. Now, this is aside a separate 8 panels earlier set up by the same NJC in June 2024 to investigate another set of judges for alleged judicial misconduct. Specifically, the Council's Preliminary Compliance Assessment Committee, that CAC, had examined 35 different petitions written against 33 judicial officers from both the Court of Appeal and the State High Court, but found only 8 to be meritorious. Apart from the previous 8 panels set up by the NJC in June 2024 to probe judges, another 4 panels were also set up by the NJC on August 15, 2024 to investigate judges against whom prima facie case had been established. By implication, there are 12 surviving petitions from 55 petitions affecting several judicial officers across the country being investigated by the various standing committee of NJC. Each standing panel, it was learned, comprised a chairman and 2 other members of the council. It was also learned that each of the 12 panels had separately forwarded copies of the petitions to the affected individual judges to defend themselves, both in writing and orally. A source privy to the procedure at the NJC said that the affected judges were allowed to be represented by counsel of their choice. Although all the panels were given till penultimate Thursday, October 31st, 2024, to wind up their sittings, some of the affected judges, including the Chief Judge of of a high court had requested for more time to adequately defend the petitions against them, since the names of some of them featured in more than one petition. But the committees, which were forced to give them additional 24 hours, had reportedly told them that they did not have eternity to hear their petitions and should forward their responses if they had any. As soon as the Chief Justice is back in the country, the last quarterly meeting of the NJC will be fixed for the reports of the different panels investigating the affected judges to be taken. I think cases will be differently handled this time, and I think this new CJN will recalibrate in no time the perception of the judiciary and its legitimacy, the source added. Ahead of the consideration of the report, top lawyers in the country have been piling pressure on the National Judicial Council (NJC) regarding that the latest crisis that erupted in Rivers State, the likes of Kano, in the last few days, arising from conflicting orders by two High Court judges of the coordinate jurisdiction on whether or not local council election in the state should hold on October 5th, 2024. Some of the stakeholders pushing the position are respected members of the inner bar. Among them are former members of Imo State House of Assembly, Chief Mike Ahamba, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, a one-time Abia State Attorney General, State Attorney General, and Commissioner for Justice. Professor Awa Kalu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, renowned academic Professor Chidi Anselm Odinkalo, and respected Silk Chief Samuel Jibrin Okuntikpe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The lawyers who describe the current practice of serving judges in the country to struggle for jurisdiction in political cases as embarrassing said that until examples are made, the integrity of the judiciary will continually wane, putting the nation's fragile democracy at risk. Report has it that sometimes in May this year, under the watch of the immediate past Chief Justice Olakayode Arewola, three judges of coordinate jurisdiction, Justice Mohammed Liman, Justice S. Amobede, and Justice Amina Aliyu, in quick succession, similarly granted conflicting orders in Kano and emirship disputes, which not only heated up the polity and scandalized the judiciary, but also left Kano Emirate with two substantive emirs till date. Both Justice Mohammed Liman and Justice S. Omabede are serving under the Federal High Court now, and the bench, while Justice Amina Aliyu is of the Kano State Judiciary. Although Chief Justice Arewola invited the heads of the Federal High Court and the Kano State High Court to his Abuja office to get first-hand information on the circumstances surrounding the instances or issuance of embarrassing conflicting orders, report has that none of the three judges handed off the cases until judgment, while none was sanctioned. But upon her resumption of office, the new CJN said it would not be business as usual. However, few days after her elevation, two judges, Justice Peter Lifo of the Federal High Court, Abuja, and Justice Chigozie Igwe of Rivers State High Court, Port Harcourt, issued conflicting orders regarding local council election that recently held in Rivers State. The conflicting orders has set the state on fire. Now, following the shenanigans, a firebrand advocate, that's Mr. Samuel Jibrin Okuntikpe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, who did not mention any particular case, had wondered aloud why impeccable elder statesmen of the bar were keeping mum in the face of waning integrity of the legal profession. In those days, when members of the legal profession were the hope of the marginalized and oppressed, there were strong and impeccable elder statesmen of the legal profession. When any member within the legal profession exhibited conduct that had potential of lowering the integrity of the legal profession, these elders waded in and ensured that the integrity of the legal profession did not suffer jeopardy in the hands of bad legal practitioners and judges. Do we still have elders of Spartan courage and mien in the profession? I'm asking because the legal profession is in the need of elders who can save the profession from coming in a calamitous end. Today, judgments that defy logic and justice are flying here and there. There are strong perceptions of state capture of our judicial system. Politics has entered into the legal profession. Where are our elders? Where are our elders? This is not the best time for legal profession, he added. Now, reacting also, a former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Anselm Odinkalu, said that the joke now is that the court orders that these days are so lucrative that many judges make them, in good old Nigeria speak, double. Responsibility for the sorry state lies mostly with the Federal High Court. Now, the ancient city of Kano now has 2 emirs, one state and the other federal, after a rogue Federal High Court judge had decided to take chieftaincy into the federal realm. Edo State has 2 deputy governors too. By dint of the judicial labor of Peter Lifo, a judge, the Federal High Court also attempted to impose 2 separate states in Rivers State for the conduct of local government election after Chigozie Igwe, a judge of the Federal High Court of Rivers State, had issued a considered decision setting 5 October as the date for the election. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara acknowledged Peter Lifo's hard work by handing him the moniker of that justice that gave that fraudulent judgment. This is not the first time the Federal High Court will graciously consider or constitute itself into an appellant forum to review without benefit of the records of proceedings with the practiced ill will of political hit job dressed up in judicial robes decisions of the State High Court. Nor is it the first time that the Federal High Court will convert itself into a court of unlimited jurisdiction that is not at the expense of a State High Court, which under the Constitution is indeed the only court of unlimited jurisdiction. This Federal High Court has become the place where the law falls into dispute and Lady Justice suffers repeat rape, he added. Now, according to the news, the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, which has also lamented the menace of conflicting judgment from the affected High Court judges, concerned the scheduled elections, stated that even if a court has directed the police not to work with the Electoral Commission on Rivers State, nothing says the police should not provide security for peace and order of Rivers State, adding that the refusal to provide security was not only unconstitutional, but also illegal, immoral, and a dangerous signal that invites lawlessness and undermines democracy. Of course, several of the judges have been speaking, but let me quickly just say what Professor Kano said. He said, also contributing, Professor Awo Kano San said that a Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to entertain cases on local government and its affairs, just as he wondered why a High Court judge would order police not to perform its constitutional duty. A Federal High Court, a State High Court, and a National Industrial Court are either under the Constitution. What we expect as law-abiding citizens is that no court should place itself beyond another when you are on the same level. When you have local government election, why should it be controlled by the Federal High Court? And again, the primary duty of the police is to maintain law and order. So why should the courts direct police not to do what they're supposed to do, maintenance of law and order? He queried rhetorically. Well, it's quite a long read. I guess just in summary, what do you make of what they just said?
Well, I think it's good enough for this kind of debate to come up because, I mean, it's very reasonable to talk about this. I just wish we have all the time to talk about this. Number one, just what the son just been mentioned of. It is an insane person that will say so for you to tell that the police should cease giving their cooperation in a state because of there's an election going on. It's unbelievable. But however, let's just see what CJN Ekun will do at this point, because I feel that rationally, if you listen to a lot of the court judgment, you don't need a society to tell you that things have gone wrong. So some of them need to pay for it. They should know that her administration is out to restore the respect, the sanity of judiciary.